World War II was a global conflict that lasted from 1939 to 1945. It involved the majority of the world's nations, including all of the great powers, ultimately forming two opposing military alliances, the Allies and the Axis. The war involved the mobilization of over 100 million military personnel, making it the most widespread war in history. It also resulted in the deaths of an estimated 70 to 85 million people, making it the deadliest conflict in human history. Causes of World War II. The primary cause of World War II was the aggressive expansionism of Nazi Germany, under the leadership of Adolf Hitler. After coming to power in 1933, Hitler pursued a policy of territorial expansion, rearmament, and anti-Semitism. He sought to create a new order in Europe, in which Germany would dominate its neighbors and eliminate what he saw as the Jewish threat to German national security. The failure of the international community to effectively respond to Hitler's aggression only emboldened him. The appeasement policy of Britain and France, which involved conceding to Hitler's demands in hopes of avoiding war, only encouraged him to push for more. The outbreak of war. The war officially began on September 1, 1939, when Nazi Germany invaded Poland. Britain and France, fulfilling their obligations to Poland, declared war on Germany 2 days later. This marked the beginning of a conflict that would eventually involve much of the world. In the early stages of the war, the Axis powers, led by Germany, Italy, and Japan, enjoyed a series of stunning victories. Germany quickly conquered much of Europe, including France, and began bombing Britain. Italy invaded North Africa and the Balkans, while Japan launched a surprise attack on the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, bringing the United States into the war. The tide turns. The tide of the war began to turn in favor of the Allies in 1942. When the United States entered the war and joined forces with Britain and the Soviet Union, the Allies launched a series of offensives that slowly pushed back the Axis powers on multiple fronts. In Europe, the Allies landed in Normandy, France, in June 1944, beginning the liberation of Western Europe. Soviet forces pushed the Germans back on the Eastern Front and eventually captured Berlin in May 1945. In the Pacific, the United States and its allies fought a grueling island-hopping campaign that culminated in the dropping of atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. The aftermath. The end of the war saw the defeat of the Axis powers and the emergence of the United States and the Soviet Union as the world's dominant superpowers. The war also led to the formation of the United Nations, an international organization designed to promote peace and cooperation among nations. The war saw significant technological advancements in the field of medicine, particularly in the development of antibiotics and blood transfusions. These innovations saved countless lives on the battlefield and had a significant impact on post-war healthcare. The war had a profound impact on the environment, with widespread destruction of cities, landscapes, and natural resources. The war also led to the use of chemical weapons, which caused long-lasting environmental damage and health consequences for civilians and military personnel. The war had a significant impact on the role of government in society, with many countries adopting a more interventionist approach to the economy and social welfare. The war also saw the rise of propaganda and censorship, which had a lasting impact on freedom of speech and expression. The war had a significant impact on the role of women in society, with many countries granting women the right to vote and expanding their opportunities for education and employment. The war also challenged traditional gender roles and expectations, leading to the emergence of new social movements and cultural trends. The war had a lasting impact on the political and economic systems of many countries, with the United States and Soviet Union emerging as global superpowers, and many former colonies gaining independence. The war also saw the creation of new international organizations, such as the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. The war had a significant impact on the arts and entertainment, with many works of literature, film, and music reflecting the social and cultural changes brought about by the war. The war also led to the emergence of new artistic movements, such as abstract expressionism in the United States, World War II had a profound impact on the world, with significant consequences. For civilians, women, technology, economics, international relations, and culture. Civilians faced displacement, starvation, and forced labor, as well as the horrors of the Holocaust, in which Nazi Germany systematically murdered millions of people. Women played a crucial role in the war effort, both on the home front and in military roles. With significant contributions from women in the Soviet Union, the United States, and Britain. The war also saw significant technological advancements, including the development of the atomic bomb, and widespread use of tanks, airplanes, and submarines. It had significant economic consequences, leading to the creation of new economic systems, such as the Bretton Woods system, and the emergence of new political systems, such as communism in China and Eastern Europe. The war also had a lasting impact on international relations, with the emergence of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers and the beginning of the Cold War. Finally, the war had a profound cultural impact, with many works of literature, art, and film depicting the war and its impact on society, as well as the emergence of new cultural movements, such as the Beat Generation and the Angry Young Men. In conclusion, World War II was a global conflict that shaped the course of history and had a lasting impact on the world. Its causes were rooted in the aggressive expansionism of Nazi Germany, and its outcomes saw the emergence of the United States and the Soviet Union as the world's dominant superpowers. The war resulted in the deaths of millions of people and reshaped the political boundaries of the world, leaving behind a legacy of trauma and suffering that is still felt to this day.